Merry Christmas all. In New Zealand it's 25th today already. We're the first in the globe to get onto the 25th, the new season. This is a built in New Zealand in the early 80s. It's a Daytona beach buggy built on a VW chassis. I just purchased this a wee while ago and I'm just resurrecting it for the road. I don't know if you can see that's a little bit dark down there, but it's got a space frame instead of being built on the VW chassis, this one. It has all the VW rear end in it though. I've just put a new transmission in it with swing arm out of a Beetle, because the one I took out was combi, and as you see the combi has the reduction gears on the final drive, which makes it 100 kilometers an hour top speed. So top speed on this one, we should gear it up, be able to cruise on 120 probably. I'm waiting on a couple of parts. I've tried to modify this. I've tried to modify the shoes by grooving that piece in and drilling 2 holes in it, because these come off the front of the drums, and I'm trying to modify them to the back, but I'm not quite happy with them. They're not sitting properly, so I've ordered some new ones, and I've ordered a new handbrake cable, because the ones that are in there to suit the combi rear end, so the new ones will suit the Beetle rear end. This is a 1600cc twin port. It's got forged pistons. I'm not quite sure. It's got something flash with the heads as well. I'm not quite sure altogether. It's got the remote oil filter on it. Got the free flow exhaust. I'm changing the alternator, because this one doesn't excite very well. So I bought this one here to stick in. That one there will go in it, because the alternator actually runs the fan, the cooling fan. I'd rather just change it now than have to pull out the motor. But if you have to pull out the motor, these things have 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the motor drops out just by unplugging a bit of wiring and fuel lines and the throttle cable. It comes out, so it's really easy to come out. On the front, it had this beam here. In the beam it had adjusters to actually raise the bug off the ground. So I've put a standard beam in it which lowers it onto the ground, and then I've also put disc brakes in the front, and I've also put a drop spindle, so I've actually lowered it down even a bit further. I've just been fitting some new carpets. I pulled all these seat mounts out and rebuilt new seat mounts so that the seats will be able to go in a lot easier. All that back area there is all coming off. I'll make a nice checker plate aluminium boot lid for that one. These are the swing plates that came off the last one, and you can see there have been 2 swing plates and they've been lapped, and that was to raise the bug off the ground, giving it a bit more clearance on the sand dunes. So now we've got these straight swing plates, and with the straight swing plates we'll actually lower the rear of the vehicle down another 4 inches. So the front's lowered, the rear's lowered, higher geared, handles a lot better. There's a small problem where this clearance on the wheels on this side has a little bit more clearance than the passenger's side, so I've set those swing plates on this side just down a little bit further, so this side will hopefully sit down a little bit and it'll give me a little bit more clearance on the rubber on the other side, so I don't do it. Yeah, so that's my new little project. I've done probably a little bit of work on it just lately. I've probably done a week's work on it, so we should have that thing up and running in another couple of days. I've actually moved into this shed at the back here. Just giving me a little bit more room. This is a lathe I bought just a wee while ago. It's a CZ lathe, fairly heavy duty. It cuts just about every thread you want, with only changing a couple of the standard small cogs at the back. Unfortunately, the guy that sold it to me, I bought it over the internet, and he didn't tell me, which really he should have let me know, that the quill is loose in the tailstock. I'll just put it back a bit, and you can see, and that there's you might be able to see the movement from there, but it's movement right around. I'm going to have to either buy a new tailstock housing and quill, or else grind the quill and get the housing rebored with a bush in it. So the guy really ripped me off. He should have told me that quill housing was worn out. Little bit of a rip off. There's a panel worker down in Palmerston North that I bought it off. I'm pretty sure he could have been a little bit more honest about that one, because I paid good dollars for it. You know, I keep this end of the workshop for all the metal working stuff, so then all your shavings stay down here. This is a new addition. I've only had that about 6 months. Absolutely brilliant. I wish I'd have had that years ago. I had to paint the concrete floor. I laid the concrete there, and this end of the floor where the shop vac is nice and hard concrete, but the far end up there, the first load of concrete went in there, they gave me pretty soft concrete, and it's been wearing away ever since. So I had to paint this last piece in here, this last bay, to try and keep the cement from all dusting up into the air, because it's every time you sweep your floor you get half a cupful of concrete dust off it. Now there's the seats off the beach buggy. They're in good nick, don't have to worry too much about them. Yeah, so when it comes your Christmas day, have a Merry Christmas when it gets to you. There's a few bits and pieces that I've been working on that I don't get much time to do anything on the net, because always in a bit of a rush, and I only get to film it. Here's a little toy that I made a wee while ago that I was going to I was going to film but never got around to it. Oh, get underneath this digger. This is my little hedge cutter I built, and the hedge cutter fits on the end of the digger boom, so we can reach up and the digger will give me probably, I could cut a top off a 2 metre hedge, 2.5 metre hedge. It's powered by a 5.5 Briggs & Stratton. Makes very short work of hedges across the top. Unfortunately, I have a 4-stroke motor on it, so I can't tip it up on its side and do the sides of hedges, otherwise we're going to run it dry and we're going to burn out a few bearings in there, but never mind. When I first bought it, I had this one here, and that's worldwide they're known as a lawn boy. And with the 2-stroke motor, I put an adapter and then put a chainsaw motor on it. The chainsaw suits about 100cc. It's got a slightly bigger throat than the standard lawn boy one. In New Zealand we call them iron horse motors, but I haven't made the little expansion chamber for it. That expansion chamber was modelled on the standard size of a lawnmower baffle they have in the catcher, in the chassis piece underneath it. But unfortunately, the reason why I didn't use it, it was hard to start. So I pulled it down and had a look, and as you see, the keyway in it has been battered, like as if they've run it into something hard and done a really, bashed it into a stop really quickly, and the momentum of the crankshaft has eaten out the keyway. So to have the keyway just slightly out a few mils has upset the timing, and it made it hard to start. So I had to throw away the little 2-stroke and put the 4-stroke on it. But this one was made so that we could do the sides of the hedges as well. I don't know, I have to think about that one, whether I get some parts and rebuild this or just leave the 4-stroke on and just do the tops of the hedges with the digger and do the sides with the still. Yeah, be good to see that going again. The few bits I'm a bit worried about is I lathed up some grease caps here, but from here to here I might have to make a plate to weld onto the centre of the wheel so that the centre comes right across to here, and then sandblast the rims and repaint them. Same with the rear. I mean, they're large. I'm not quite sure how we'll get along with them. But the large ones will fit into the middle just here, so we'll just paint the centre of it black and it might be alright with that one. There's my yearly uptake. Not much else I've done. We're still building guns. This is my target gun for the air gun club. It's still got the air onto it. Oh, can't even move it with one finger, it's quite tight. That's going quite well, probably the cheapest gun in the club, but it's quite capable of getting about 3rd place. My other one is probably in the... No, it's not. I have pistol here somewhere. Oh yeah, there's my pistol. That's got the my special valve in it. That's just a fairly standard Crossman 2240 with aluminium breech. The longer barrel, the barrel comes right through there. It's got my special valve that I make, which makes it very noisy. So because it's so noisy, I've got to have a silencer on both of these. It's bloody noisy as. This one, I can get first place in the club with the pistol shoot, piece of cake. Works really well. There's not much else to say at the moment. We're there's my practice range all the way down there. We're just coming up to summer here, so Christmas Day we're 6 weeks away from midsummer. So if I build anything more, I'll give you a yell. There's not much building, but you can just see the ends of stuff. That's the rubbish I got with the bug. So, not sure what I'll do with it. Might put it on the internet, see if there's anything that people want. A lot of it's 4 stud stuff, which doesn't suit me. I'm into the 5 stud bug. Oh, well, if there's anything more that comes up, we start building, I'll give you a call. See you later. Merry Christmas.